Well, hello everyone and welcome to a very special program. Today we're going to get up close and personal inside the Halloween parade right here in Anaheim. Now the mission statement of this group says it all. It reads, from its inception in 1924, the Anaheim Halloween Parade has been a source of civic pride and a catalyst for community involvement. Watch this. The first Anaheim Halloween Parade took place on October 30th, 1924, with baseball icon Babe Ruth in attendance as the Grand Marshal. The parade was well attended and grew bigger and bigger, drawing thousands of attendees from Anaheim and Southern California. The parade would become a fall tradition. At one time, it was one of the biggest Halloween parties in the nation, attracting 75,000 people by the 1970s. In fact, Disney Studios was involved with the Anaheim Halloween Parade prior to the establishment of the theme park in 1955. Over time, the downtown region experienced an exodus of residents. The interest in the Anaheim Halloween Parade began to lag. Then in 2012, the parade was revived thanks to former Disney art directors Kevin Kidney and Jody Daly. Nearly 45,000 were in attendance at the last year's parade. All right, welcome back, folks. And I have with me Mr. Keith Olson. And if you live anywhere in or around the city of Anaheim, you know who this man is. And sir, so glad to have you again. And
oh, good to see you again.
You're looking good as usual.
Becoming as much of a tradition in this parade as some of the floats.
Well, I'm having fun. I tell you, I really enjoy it.
That's why we're all here.
Yes, sir. Now, for those that don't know about the parade, give us a brief history.
Sure. Parade started back in 1924. It was originally part of the Fall Festival, designed to keep kids from getting into mischief on Halloween. It went down the center street, downtown Anaheim. It was largely supported by residents and local businesses. Businesses would sponsor floats and kids would march in the parade, and we have a kiddie parade. It used to take place during the day. Now we kind of incorporate and have lots of kids in the parade at night, which we're trying to actually increase the number of kids that participate. So we're just bringing the community back into the parade the way it used to be. The parade kind of lost its direction a decade or so ago. And we're trying to instill back into the parade the feel of community and neighborhoods and residents and businesses all working together, basically to just march down the street and have a good time.
Now, there have been a few celebrities involved in the parade as well.
There have been many celebrities. The very first Grand Marshals were Babe Ruth and Walter Johnson. Jodie Foster was a Grand Marshal at one point. A couple years ago, we had a very famous Disney a gentleman named Bob Gurr, who was one of the original Imagineers, invented all kinds of the things that are in Disneyland. We had a local guitar hero, Kid Ramos, as the parade Grand Marshal 2 years ago. And this year we have a real kind of a historical treat, if you will. Our Grand Marshal is going to be Diane Marsh, who was a resident of Anaheim in the 70s and 80s. She moved to Santa Ana and then is now living in Illinois, but we contacted her and asked her if she would be part of the parade. We thought it was important to tie that historical aspect back into the parade. She's a co-founder of the Anaheim Historical Society, is a nationally known historic preservation author and artist, and she's just a great person. And she knows Anaheim and she knows Anaheim history and has documented a great deal of it in her books.
Yeah. Awesome. Tell us about some of the new additions, if you have any, in this year's parade.
One of the most exciting for the new additions for the parade is something called a ghost dissipator. Nobody's seen it before. It's going to be pretty magical. It's going to turn ghosts into puffs of smoke as it rolls down the street. So we're looking forward to introducing that to the parade crowd.
Yeah, sort of a steampunk theme to it as well, right?
Kind of, yeah, a little bit on that look.
Yeah. I love it, man. Can't wait to see that. And I guess you've had to refurbish some of the older floats, huh?
Sure. Everything we've done, it's been 5 years since the group that's kind of involved now got involved. Things have worn out, things have broken. We had everything stored in this warehouse that the city generously lets us occupy all year long. There was a leak in the roof, and of course the leak had to be right over the biggest cardboard built float on the planet. So his head collapsed, and so he's getting a completely rebuilt.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, I guess every year there's always a little something.
Always something. We've had one of my favorite things is Rody Monteo's clock float.
Yes.
And he did really well going down the parade. He didn't do so well coming back to the warehouse after the parade, so we had to kind of beef him up a little bit.
And what do you do after you finish all the work that you do here? Do you get a chance to participate in the parade, or what do you do?
Well, actually, for the first time last year, a lot of what we do because we're scrambling.
Yeah.
You know, nothing goes according to plan.
Yeah.
Last year, at the very end, we realized we did not have the person set up. Well, somebody didn't show up to follow behind the Anaheim Police Department's mounted unit and our headless horseman who rides a horse down the beginning of the parade. And you kind of have to, if you're going to have a parade follow horses. It's kind of a good idea to have somebody in between, maybe doing some cleanup. Yeah. So I got to do that, and it was the most fun you can imagine having. So that's my job every year now.
All right, my friend.
Part of the deal.
Yes, sir. I look forward to seeing you.
Look forward to seeing you.
All right, and we look forward to seeing you out on the parade route. All right, and I've got Bill with me, Bill with the drill, if you will. And, and Bill interviewed you a few other times, and you're always the guy that's working hard here. You're always doing something. There's never a dull moment with you. Tell us about your volunteer work here.
We just like to volunteer. It gets us out playing with power tools, just some fun stuff to do. We have some great volunteers who really come from all walks of life. And we get to meet a lot of different interesting people. Surprising what talents you can bring out when you give somebody a staple gun and some fabric.
Yeah, and how long have you been doing this?
I think it's been about 5 years now.
Yeah, and you're still going strong, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like it.
Some of the things that you've done, is anything significantly that you've worked on? I know you do a little bit of everything.
Just a few of the things you see here. It's just been great fun. We worked with a couple people who were amazingly talented artists. We built the bases, they'll decorate them and paint them, and it's just such a great fun time.
Yeah. Now I understand this is kind of a family affair with you as well. You've got family members working here. And
yeah, my cousin comes in sometimes, my nephew, and especially my sister, who really has a great hand in it.
And some of the volunteers, where do the volunteers come from? You say they come from all walks of life.
Oh yeah.
Who are some of the volunteers, and who can volunteer?
Anybody can volunteer. You just have a willingness to get something done and maybe leave a little legacy for the future.
Yes, indeed. Now, I'm not skilled. I'd like to volunteer, but I'm not skilled with the drill like you are. And I have no artist background or anything. What you see is pretty much it. So can you use a guy like me?
Sure can.
You know, it's really great because we do have some very talented artists, like I said, who are willing to help and teach. Maybe give a little class on how to do this or how to do that. And it's really what you want to learn to do.
Yeah.
So.
Now, do you actually march in the parade as well, or are you on the
I
sideline?
did the first year, but now it's become such a thing that we have to have more logistics involved to get things down the road.
Yeah, it's a lot of things you could be doing, Bill. I mean, you could be at home with your drill, you know, watching sports or something. But you're here. And what motivates you to come here for the last 5 years?
You know, I think it's a legacy, being around as long as it has. I mean, 90 plus years. Babe Ruth and Walter Johnson, our first Grand Marshals. Just, it's a little bit of the history of Anaheim when you look through snippets of each parade year. We've had such great people.
I got Larry with me, and Larry's another volunteer. And Larry, what a great guy. You're having too much fun down here.
Oh, I am. I'll tell you, way too much fun. My wife even came in and started helping this year because I'm having too much fun.
Just came to check you out, to see what all the fun's about.
Make sure that I'm having the right kind of fun.
And that's what it is down here. Every time I've come down, sometimes it can be blazing hot out here, and everybody's laughing, having a good time, and it's a fun place.
Yeah, it certainly is, Ron.
Now, how long have you been volunteering?
It's been about 5 years now.
And what particular job or what area have you been in?
Well, I like creating things, making things out of wood. So the first project I worked on was the Anaheim float. And then we spread out from there. I kind of branched out with the trees, you know.
Yes. And Andy Anaheim, and we're going to show you a picture of that on the screen, but it's right behind us here. And that's kind of like next to the brewery float. This is probably the most popular.
Might be the most popular, period.
And now you go back to the original Andy Anaheim.
Well, that was created by Walt Disney.
Well, that was in 26, right? Okay, we're gonna go, did you go back that far left? But I mean, you said it's gone through several changes, though, since you...
Oh, mechanically, yes. We've changed the wheels on it so it's easier to roll. The poor guys that had to roll it the first couple of years, it was kind of trying. And then we changed the mechanics for the arms to move to bang the drum and the head to move back and forth. So we've gone through some mechanical changes just to make it lighter and easier to maneuver in the parade.
Yeah. Now, do you actually march in the parade itself, or do you stand?
No, I don't. My bride and I actually announced the parade.
Oh,
One of the stations, yeah. Well, yeah, we're the first station to announce the parade. Just come on down. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie, and you walk away feeling really good.
All right, welcome back, folks. Up with us next from the Anaheim Brewery, we have Greg and Barbara. Welcome, folks.
Thank you.
So glad to have you, and of course, everybody knows this beautiful float behind you. Tell us when you first got involved with the parade and how long have you been involved?
Well, we opened our brewery in Anaheim because that's where we live. And so we always wanted the Tasting Room and Beer Garden to be a community space. And that's how we got involved. When the parade was being revived, people from the community said, hey, we're starting a parade, we're reviving this, do you want to be part of it? And we said, yes, we do.
and in a big way as well.
So that's been, I guess, 5 years now.
Awesome. And tell us about your float. Again, it's one of the most recognizable ones. And tell us about your float.
Well, our friend Jody, who is a wonderful designer and he's done work for us at the brewery as well, came to us with this proposal after one of our Oktoberfest festivals at the brewery. And he thought it would be a really cool idea to have an animated Oktoberfest Bavarian beer drinker, and that's what we've got. And he is absolutely huge, as you can see.
Once again, everybody knows it, everybody sees it in the parade and everything else. Now, tell us about the name of the float. What is the name?
It's Gerhard Nogenschader.
Okay.
It's a German name.
God bless you, yes. And what exactly does that mean? Can we say it on TV? Or?
Gerhard is a first name from a good German first name, but Nogenschader is meaningless. The story's kind of funny. We were walking from the brewery one day because that's what we do. We're right in the heart of downtown. We walk to the bank, we walk to the post office. So we were walking somewhere, and it was a nice, hot, sunny day. And Barbara said, "Stop, we have to go back inside. I need something to shade my noggin." And grabbed a hat, and I said, that's not just a hat. That's a noggin
That's
shader.
a noggin shader.
And we said, that's a great German name. And then about 6 months later, we saw the design for this wonderful float, and we thought, that's who it is. That's Gerhard Nogenschader.
Awesome. Now, tell us about your brewery.
Well, the original Anaheim Brewery opened in 1870, right in downtown. Not far from where we are now. Went through 3 sets of owners, 3 different locations. Sadly, none of the buildings exist anymore. So we just took a page from history, said we're going to be the 4th set of owners. Let's pick a new location. And so we're right in the heart of downtown in the packing district behind Umami Burger. So we're nice and close. We make classic German-style beers, classic, easy to drink. If you're new to beer, it's not going to be scary. It's going to be delicious. You're going to find yourself ordering another beer, calling your friends saying, hey, come join me. This is the coolest place to hang out.
Wow.
And it really led us, that connection to history and tradition is why we sponsored the float in the Halloween parade. Because for 93 years, the Halloween parade has existed basically because businesses got people together, their employees, their families, and as a business, produced a float and went down Center Street to celebrate Halloween as part of the fall festival. And so we thought, what a great connection, not only to history, but to the community that we live in, to our city, to bring this tradition back of businesses sponsoring a float. And our employees, we walk in the parade, we stand next to this guy, all of our friends and family join us, and it turns into a great big community party, which it should be.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you so much, folks. Really appreciate it. And we're going to see you on the parade. Our cameras will be there, and give us a wave when you see us, okay?
Happy Halloween.
Same to you. Take care.
Be sure to join us in downtown Anaheim Saturday, October 28th for the 94th Annual Anaheim Fall Festival and Parade. The Fall Festival returns to the Center Street Promenade and begins at 11 o'clock a.m. Parking is available in the Center Street parking structure. The parade begins at 6 o'clock p.m. at Broadway and West Street, traveling through the downtown area via Center Street Promenade. The parade will end at the Packing House. Reporting for the City of Anaheim, I'm Ron Roberson.